Oh, hey Rhys, what's going on today?
And next on our list is Sherry Lance. Sherry Lance? Lance? Just giving the cards a good old shuffle. So look, they've even changed how I'm shuffling. They're not sludgy with this read. Interesting combination. Interesting combination. Please allow me a moment to discern these messages with you all. One moment. I need some water while I'm doing that. I'll have a sip of OJ too. Oh, it's a bit sour. So as is always, after I've had a bit of a squizzy at this message, I will read to you all the cards, and then we'll go through the message. That's making sense to me. Oh, okay. Sherry, I think you and I are very similar in some of these ways. Alright. So the first card that we have, where we're coming from. So courage. Right? And the courage card says, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. In the current present lane, out of alignment, is the pride card, which says, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. In alignment over the top of the pride card is the trust card, and it says, again, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. In the future column, out of alignment, we have the service card, which says, I feel good when I can help others. And then in alignment over the top of that is the honesty card, and it says, I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Now, what we don't see coming, in that lane, out of alignment, the death card, which of course says, I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. And then in alignment, in the what we don't see coming column, is guilt card, which says, I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So let's go back to the courage card for a second. All the way back over this side of the map, all right? Look at that beautiful, beautiful courage mandala. So where you are presently, right, where you are in your current situation, it took a lot of work for you to get to that position, is what Spirit's saying, through that courage card, right? It's taken you a lot of mental acuity to be able to kind of pull yourself out of certain mental spaces in the past, and to be able to build yourself up in this way to get yourself to this point, okay? So the pride and the trust card, though, this is the rest of this is speaking on your trust level mentally with yourself and your self-esteem, okay? And the pride card, I'm going to read it again. It says, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. I actually think you're undervaluing yourself. You're underrating yourself in a circumstance or situation currently and presently. And I feel like if you were to bump the value up of yourself in whatever circumstance or situation that is, you just need to trust that you are worth that, right? You're not showing enough pride in yourself. That's what I think that's referring to in the moment, in the sense of there's an old adage or an old phrase that gets chucked around often, and it's know your worth and then add tax. Yeah, you add tax. Know your worth and then add tax. Sorry, animals trying to break into my room. Shh. My dog is a child, all right? He's a child, and can you hear him? He's like, why have you locked me out of my room? No, this isn't your room. This is my office. If you've ever been on a reading with me, if he starts barking, I'm like, I'm on a call. I'm on a reading. Did you see the filthies I just gave him? That's why he was like, woo, and then he because I was like, I'm in the middle of something. Hate being interrupted in the middle of a reading. Hate. Let me go back in my headspace, please. I need to refresh because put me right off. Right. Okay. So you need to trust your worth. Here we go. I'm back on it. You need to trust your self-worth, yeah? You need to trust that what brought you to here is what's going to carry you through moving forward into the future. And I think you're also discounting the skills that you've maybe recently acquired that have brought you to this point. You're discounting the fact that you can continue to build on those. I'm going to go back to the courage card again. I'm going to remind you again, they're just, I'm following their direction in this sense. It's like you need to keep being reminded of.
Don't forget to click the notification bell if you're watching this on YouTube, or like and share if you're watching this on Facebook. Thanks for subscribing.
What it took to bring you to this point. You need to keep reminding yourself, what did it take to bring me to this point? What did it take to bring me to this point? Because I think that's what's going to keep reminding you of that trust that you need to employ. Yeah. Otherwise, I can see potential, opportunities for you to get too caught up in your head. Sherry, I don't want you to get caught up in your head. Don't get caught up in your head. Yeah. You've worked too hard. To not get caught up in your headspace when it comes to certain circumstances or situations. Now, again, I remind you of the service card in the future lane saying, I feel good when I can help others, right? And the reason I'm also going so hard about the mental headspace for you and the negative self-talk and all that aspect of the conversation is because part of it also has to do with the way when sometimes, and it's not just yourself, right? Many people experience this. Sometimes when we get into a negative headspace, we can't authentically express what we're actually meaning or what we're actually saying. This is why when we do have, problems with, we have a fight or something like that, we can say things that we don't necessarily mean because we're trying to express, but through the current state of the emotion in that moment, anger, it blocks your perception on certain levels, right? So I'm not saying you're an angry person, and just using the emotion of anger as an example, but with yourself, that negative self-talk, I don't want you to allow yourself to get trapped in that negative self-talk, right? Because I do feel like you have so much to offer people. You've got so much, and you do. You're, I think, very highly regarded by many people around you. But the service card being out of alignment, that's you doubting yourself, you doubting your capabilities, you doubting your ability to do something, because I'm going to do it again. Are you ready? Remember how you got here, okay? The honesty card. Try and employ this now. And it's not that you're not an honest person. I'll read it to you. It says, I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. It's not that you're not being honest. I don't think you have authentically, completely expressed yourself with something at the moment. And I would implore you to sit down and figure out what What is needing to come out? Have you got any throat ailments? Sore throat by any chance? Yeah? If you do, it's that authentic expression, right? Go give the throat chakra on the Chakra Ameliorate a listen. That'll get it moving. That'll get it moving. But the honesty card, again, not about you being honest with yourself. I think you're an honest person. I don't think it's got anything to do with honesty per se. I think it's to do with authentic expression. Yes? Now, what we don't see coming. Let's go to that lane. So the death card, right? It says, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. And then over the top of that, the guilt card. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Let's go back to this honesty card, because I think this honesty card has a lot to do with the death and the guilt card, because I feel as though I feel this is where we relate. Sometimes we struggle okay, I'm going to give you a hypothetical scenario and situation right now. So it may be relative directly, but if not, it's just a hypothetical. Sometimes that happens. I give hypotheticals and it tends to be spot on. But needless to say, hypothetical nonetheless. Let's just say you have someone in your life that maybe adds a certain energy or a certain frequency, and you like being around them, but they drag you down a little bit, you know? And you're struggling to cut that person off, even though you know that they're not adding benefit to your life, and you know that they actually are weighing you down and dragging you down. You're so compassionate in that way that you're like, oh, but I can't, like, slack, you know? Because deep down there's another part of you going, get rid of them, get rid of them, get rid of them, right? Complete hypothetical, but apply it to the context of what it relates to. Are you being honest with yourself? Is this situation or circumstance really in alignment with me? So, what are you going to do about that? Right? So the death card here and the guilt card. The guilt card, I think, refers to if you don't take action, you will regret not taking action sooner. The death card is speaking of, see, when I saw that, and in conjunction with the honesty card and the pride card and the service card as well, it's almost giving me this impression that someone or someone's need to go. Like, as in, they're not beneficial, they're not healthy for your mental space or your head space, or they're not lifting you up, they're pushing you down. So I would have a look around and not be afraid to release that of which does not serve you, or that of which you do not require in your life. Why? The minute you do that, the void is going to get filled with something that is even better on your path of alignment. As long as you keep your space up here, what if up? What if up? What if up? Trust. Yeah? Trust. What if up? What if up? What if up? God, people come along to me. Yeah, it's so... The world we live in, I understand why people get so fuzzed, you know? And so caught up in the mental game of it all. Oh, I totally understand. Of course I understand. I experience it too. We all do to some level of degree. But the more we can tune in with ourselves, the more we can tune in with ourselves on such a deep level where you know what's going on with you on a physiological level, a mental level, an emotional level, a spiritual level, for lack of a better term, a metaphysical level, then you then begin to be able to look around you and go, I understand why that person is that way, or I understand why that person is reacting in that way in that moment or circumstance, or I don't agree with what they did, but I understand. I understand how they reached that point. It's not about the judgment, and yes, it is in a sense of, yes, you're judging their behavior to go, that is not behavior, or that is not energy that I want in my life, but you're not judging them as a human being, because none of us are faultless. None of us, not one of us are perfect. And if you are, did you see that look? If you think you're perfect, that's my response. No comment. because no one's perfect. As we know this, basic shit. We know this. No one's perfect. So hold no judgment, hold no fire to, their face per se. Hold it to their behaviour. I hope that reading helped for you as well, by the way, Sherry. That was interesting for you. But
Catch you on the flip side.